Good morning, Facebook. Today is the Love Challenge, day number 3. So if you haven't joined us for the other 2 days this week, please go back and look at and watch my videos. This looks super crooked, I do apologize. Go back and watch my videos that I did the last 2 days. And every day we're talking about a different way to show love. And if you didn't watch the other videos, I'm basing everything I'm sharing off of the book, The Love Dare, which is by Stephen and Alex Kendrick. This book is designed to improve your marriage, but what I'm finding is these ideas can definitely be implemented into just loving anyone in your life, whether it be a family member, a friend, or even just someone random that you meet throughout your day. So again, the last 2 days we've talked about different ways to love, and today we're going to be talking about selfishness. And love is not selfish, so we're going to dive right into it. If you have any questions or comments or feedback while I'm speaking about this, you can definitely comment and I will be able to read them, and we can interact and have this discussion about love and how love is not selfish. All right, so love and selfishness are the complete opposites. They simply can't coexist. Selfishness means we focus on ourselves. We only have our best interests in mind, and we are just self-absorbed or selfish. Love, on the other hand, denies ourselves for the sake of someone else. So again, selfishness just completely suffocates the capacity to love. We simply cannot love if our true intent is only to benefit ourselves, if we are only focused on ourselves. And unfortunately, our culture teaches us to focus on ourselves. Marketing, advertising is all focused on ourselves and us, and it's not about giving. I do believe in self-love, and we definitely do need to have self-love in order to love someone else. But there's a difference between self-love and selfish. And again, focusing only on ourselves is selfish. And no way to actually love someone if we are only truly always focusing on ourselves. So, some acts of selfishness. What exactly is selfishness? What does it mean to be selfish? Moodiness, complaining all the time, laziness, irresponsible, boasting, bragging, quick to anger, talking too much and never listening. Even generous acts with the motive to gain bragging rights or reward are acts of selfishness. So doing something nice or doing something for someone else just so that we are recognized by other people or are rewarded for being nice to somebody else is selfishness. People who are constantly boasting, bragging, and always talking about themselves and never listening to anyone else, obviously that's selfish. But also people who are moody, always complaining, lazy, irresponsible, somebody who's just not taking responsibility. It's often, I think, just referred to as adulting, just being a good human being. If you are selfish and, lazy, moody, complaining, those are obviously traits of a selfish person. But luckily, we are all human. We all struggle with this selfishness. But it's something that obviously making ourselves aware of, identifying what selfishness is, and then deciding to do different, to make changes, we can better ourselves and not be as selfish. So the bottom line is with selfishness that you're either making a decision out of love for others or love for yourself. And again, while I think it's really important to have self-love, there's a fine line between self-love and selfishness. And self-love, I lost my train of thought just a second. Oh, right, definitely have self-love, but not at the consequence of others, of hurting others, or of denying others love. So again, having self-love, but not focusing only on yourself. That means, taking time for yourself to care for yourself, but not at the risk of, denying your family love. So, and again, that can be sort of a fine line. It's hard to find that balance of setting aside time for yourself, but then still leaving time for your spouse and for your kids and for your friends. And there is no golden rule for that. There's no, pie chart that tells you just how much time you need for yourself and how much time you need for your family, because we're all different. But when you're coming from a place of really, truly, wanting better for others than yourself, focusing not just on yourself, but at some points denying ourselves so that we can love others, is selfishness, is not being selfish. Unselfish people, which maybe hopefully we are striving to be, are willing to set their own jealousy and demands aside and lose themselves in the joy of loving, serving, and giving to others. Unselfish people are willing to set their own jealousy and demands aside and lose themselves in the joy of loving, serving, and giving to another. So again, taking out our own objectives, putting our own demands, maybe it's just our own preferences, our own likes aside, just to receive the joy we get from being kind to someone else, from serving them, from giving to them, and the joy that brings us. And that is a way that we can show love, is by being unselfish and bringing joy to other people. All right, so my challenge today is to show love by acting unselfish, in some unselfish way, some unselfish act of kindness towards someone else. Now, that does not mean that you give up what's most important to you. It just means choosing to do something else, choosing to do something for someone else. So instead of something you prefer doing, do it because it's what they want. But make sure that something else, that's something that you are not doing for yourself, isn't something that's really super important for you. So let me give you some examples of something you could do. You could watch your husband's favorite show instead of yours, right? So something that you would prefer to do. Personally, I would prefer to watch a documentary, but my husband would prefer to watch basketball. So does it really hurt me at all to not watch my favorite show and instead watch basketball? Absolutely not. That's not something that's super important to me. But maybe at that time it's super important to him to watch that basketball, which I know that's coming here in a couple days. And that's just some way of showing love to him and being unselfish, that I can show love to him. Maybe it's something like going to your friend's favorite restaurant instead of yours, right? So maybe your coworkers ask you out for lunch today, and you really don't care for this steakhouse that much. You'd much rather go to the Mexican place, because that's what I would do. But is that really important? Can't you just, show love to somebody else and not be selfish, not be demanding, not be, have your own intent or your own objective, not solely focus on yourself, but just be kind to someone else and do their favorite thing? That doesn't hurt you one bit. Maybe it's something like choosing to buy a gift for someone versus spending that money on yourself. It could be something really, really simple. Maybe it's, maybe you're out to coffee with a friend and you have X amount of dollars, and you could buy yourself a coffee and a muffin, or you could buy 2 coffees, right? That's a simple way of showing love to someone else, by being unselfish instead of spending it all on you, and you buy your friend a little coffee as well. So these are just some real basic, simple things that you can do. And maybe these are things that you're already doing, but you just don't realize that you're showing love to someone else. Make yourself aware of what you are or not doing in terms of acting selfish to someone that you love. Show love today by doing a unselfish act for someone in some way. Show love today by being unselfish. And then comment here with what you did. Or, maybe you're just catching this later and, you haven't done any of these love challenges yet. Go ahead and check back with them and do them. You can apply these things at any time. There is no, love challenge only this week, only the second week of March or whatever. These are things that we can be doing all the time, every day, to be showing love, and not just to our family, but to random people. So example, that coffee instance. Maybe you have $10 and you're buying coffee that's $5, and you have an extra $5, and the person behind you is like, oh man, I forgot my wallet or whatever. Instead of buying that muffin for yourself, buy them an extra coffee. Buy them their coffee, right? So spend that extra money on them. And what an unselfish act that is, by showing someone else love. All right, so that's what I've got for you today. I appreciate you watching. Please share this video if you found it helpful, and brighten someone's day and spread the love with me by encouraging more people to show love. All right, guys, have a great Wednesday.